Welcome, everybody, to The World is a Mess, and I just want to steampunk it. This is episode 83, December 15th, 2022. I'm your host, Steampunk Star Raisin, and I am here in North Hollywood, California, USA. And I'm here with my co-host, Daniel Bertison. He is in Bellwood, Ontario, Canada. What's going on, Daniel?
Hi. I just blocked I blocked Jacob. I'm sick and tired of his fucking trolling. So that's one thing. And then second of
Well,
all,
well, what do you mean? What was he doing to troll you?
well, okay, you know, I just don't like his attitude toward me. Like, for example, I wrote him a message. I said, "Oh, you know what?" Like he showed me a video of his, and I said, like his friend was kind of plumpish. She was a plump girl, and she
Okay.
said, "I like the holidays because I like to eat." That's what she said. So I said, I can tell she likes to eat. Nothing wrong with that. I
You
can
got
tell
some
she likes,
Yeah, I can tell by your smirk you got some pleasure, some satisfaction out of that.
like I can tell she likes to eat. Big deal. And anyways, he gets angry and he threatens to block me if I don't remove my comment. Well, excuse me, if you don't like my comment, why don't you remove it? No, he had to make me remove my own comment. And I'm just
Well,
like,
like I told you off camera, people react to you based on how you make them feel. So if you try to make somebody else feel bad, then you're going to get negativity in return.
I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I feel terrible. I feel horrible because, as you know, I'm being abused every single day.
I know, but you have to be empathetic to other people in order for people to be empathetic towards you.
I'm not trying to.
If you only expect people to be empathetic towards you, but you're not empathetic in return, then you're not going to have that return policy. You
But
know,
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
it's
bother
emotion.
anybody.
It's emotional logic. It's basic emotional logic 101. People react to you based on how you make them feel.
But listen,
Sometimes
I'm
you
not.
want to, I mean, and I can tell that you get enjoyment out of mean comments, and you're going to have to expect the baggage that comes with mean comments. You're going to have to, you're going to get mean comments in return or
So
negativity
like
in return. I
he
mean,
forces me. He forces me to delete my comment. Why don't he delete my comment? No, 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 no. I got to do it. I have to do it. Otherwise, he blocks me. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll do it. Last night I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm not taking that crap from Jacob. I'm already taking that crap from my parents every single day. I was abused by my parents. I was abused by the police. I'm abused by my brother. Everybody is piling on top of me. I feel terrible.
yes,
My
but dude,
brain,
you got to be empathetic towards other people. When you make mean comments, you got to expect negativity in return. It
like
just goes with the territory.
my
You
brain
can't
is
it can't
shattered.
be all about you because not everybody knows your life history, not everybody knows your life story. But even if they did, you if you want them to be empathetic towards you, you got to be empathetic towards other people.
Like my brain is just shattered now.
I can tell.
I can't even talk properly. And the worst part about it is people abuse me and they get away with it because they can.
life is not fair, but you just have to try to survive. You have to make the
But I said,
best.
yeah, it is fair for others.
You have to make the best of a bad situation. But you got to be empathetic towards other people. I've shown you empathy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have to show you empathy, but I tried to show empathy to other people. I try to treat people the way I would like to be treated. And you need to do the same, or you should strive to do the same. You'll have a much more positive experience if you try to treat people the way you'd like to be treated. Would you like to be made fun of for your weight?
No,
Okay. Well, then don't make fun of other people for their
but
weight.
growing up, when people appear to be a little chunky or fat, even my parents' friends were like saying, "Oh, it looks like they like to eat." It's a light way of saying
I,
you look kind of chunky.
Well, yeah, and you got some satisfaction out of it. I could tell by your smirk on your face when You're repeating the story to me. You got some satisfaction out of making her feel uncomfortable.
She didn't.
And
I don't even think she saw my comment. I don't even know this
well,
person.
either way, you made Jacob feel uncomfortable. I mean, that's his right. If he wants you to delete the comment, I guess he's trying to make a point to you.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
but I mean, he could have deleted it. He could have deleted it himself, but
so
no, he wants me to do it.
did he block you or not?
I don't know. I don't care. He blocked. I don't know. He said he was blocking me, but I don't know. I don't know if I even believe him. He's just saying shit all the time.
He's still
But
running Galaxy Man show.
yeah, and he even deleted the video me and him made about the new TARDIS interior. Moron. And like seriously, I'm not gonna stay with
Well,
that
dude,
guy.
you can't project your anger that you have towards your family or towards yourself towards other people because it's just going to be you're going to get return negativity on that.
You know, and
You
then
gotta
on
work.
top,
You need to
yeah,
work on building relationships, not breaking them down.
okay, and then on top of that, okay, I wanted to, okay, let me go back for a second. Yeah, the day before yesterday, I was talking with my friend Raquel. Well, she's not my friend anymore. She's just I don't want to deal with that person anymore. But I made
Okay.
a comment on her, okay, because like I know I'm socially awkward. I'm a very socially awkward person.
Okay.
So so also my brain is shattered after all day of abuse. My brain is shattered. I'm socially awkward. I'm locked up in the house all the time. So what happens? My friend was playing Elder Scrolls. It's a new game called Elder Scrolls.
I'm familiar with it. I think it's like $60 in this
it's a
in
very
the
boring game. It's a very
well,
boring game.
it's an RPG. It looks
Yeah.
interesting.
So anyways, okay. So there was this really hot girl. There was this really hot, our character, right? NPC or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I went up to her. I went up to, I wrote down, I said, "Oh, what do you think she tastes like? Like if I walked up to her and licked her, what do you think she tastes like?" And and all of a sudden Raquel started private messaging me. He's like, "You make me feel uncomfortable. Stop saying things
Well,
like
it is
that."
kind of a creepy, if you knew that there was another girl there, it can come off as a creepy
Yeah.
comment. I know you think
So
it's funny, but
like I said,
she has a right
yeah.
to let you know that she feels uncomfortable. She
So I
has a
said,
right. She has
yeah.
that right.
All right. So I
You
said,
got to be empathetic towards
I
other
know,
people's feelings, but
I know.
you weren't. You were ignoring her feelings.
So I said, you know what? I said, all right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And then we just parted ways. All right. The day after, I said to myself, you know what? Okay, I'm going to break the ice a little bit. I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to write on her message, not just her, everybody. I'm going to
Okay.
write what happened between me and Jacob. How, Jacob made a video and, he showed this plump girl. And I said, oh, it looks like she likes to eat.
And you
Anyways,
get again, I see the smirk on your face. You get
I'm not
satisfaction.
smirking.
You're a little bit. Yeah,
I'm not smirking.
yeah. Well, you were when you were smirking a little bit when you were recalling it.
So, anyways, you know what?
I mean, it's because you feel angry about your life situation, so you try to make other people feel uncomfortable, and you get a little bit of enjoyment out of it.
that's not my. Wait. Well, I don't know. I don't know
You
if
do
that
get a
is
little
or
bit
isn't.
of enjoyment. I can tell by how you smirk on your face. I'm trying to help you out, dude.
I
I'm
know,
trying to help you out.
and I know.
People
I'm just
react. Okay,
explaining.
listen. Remember this. It's real simple. It's not complicated. People react to you based on how you make them feel. If you make them feel uncomfortable, then they're going to react to you in an uncomfortable fashion, in a negative fashion. If you insult people, degrade people for their weight, I mean, it's all fair and game. If they insult you, then yeah, I say you're free to insult them back. But proper etiquette on the internet, although there's, unless you just want to be a troll,
No, I know.
you want to have no friends.
So okay. So
Okay,
anyway,
so if you make people feel uncomfortable, you
yeah.
should expect them to feel uncomfortable towards you. And people react to you based on how you make them feel. And if you're okay with not being friends with these people, and you're okay with these people being turned off by you, then you should have no problem with it. But you sound
No, I
like you
know.
do. You sound like you do have a problem with it. Am I correct?
I just look, I'm just sick and tired of this whole damn world. This world wants to hit me and I can't hit back.
Well,
So
but you're hitting back at people that have nothing to do with your world, that have nothing to do with why you're unhappy. You're projecting to people and making other strangers take responsibility for things that have happened to you. You, I mean, would you want somebody to say make fun of your weight?
I'm not fat. But when I was a kid,
I Yeah, but
people,
you're a little bit chunky. I mean, you're a little bit chubby.
well, I don't
Uh,
know. But listen, man,
would
I
you
don't really
want
care. I'm
somebody?
not,
Would you want somebody to make fun of your weight?
no, no.
Would Okay. So
But if someone told me,
you want people to be aware of how you feel. Am I
mhm,
correct? And you want
yes,
people to be sensitive to your feelings. Am I correct?
yes.
I'm trying to help you, Daniel.
No, I know that. I
And,
know that.
and okay, so do you not think it's fair to be sensitive and aware of other people's feelings?
Yeah, I know.
Do,
Yes,
do you think
definitely.
that's fair? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Well, then you should be, if you want to make more friends and not alienate yourself more, you should be sensitive to other people's feelings. Yeah, that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't, when I think about a girl being attractive or a computer character being sexually attractive, how she tastes, that just comes off as creepy. Or at least to me, it does. And
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure to a girl, because women tend to get a lot of the brunt of sexual harassment,
Mm,
unwanted sexual advances
yeah, I
in
know.
in Western society, or
Yeah, but okay,
in most situations. So you have to be empathetic to, if you want to ever date a girl, because I know you've
uh-huh.
never dated a girl, you're still a virgin, and you're basically an incel at this point. If you want to date a girl ever in the future, you have to be willing to be friends with women, and you have to be willing to be sensitive to their feelings, have a little bit of empathy in return. And don't be surprised if you lack that empathy towards them, then they'll lack empathy back towards you.
I know. But I haven't finished my story. Okay,
All
so
right, all right, go ahead
like I
with your
said was
story.
okay. So I try to break the ice, right? I try to go on her channel, and I try to say, okay, you know something? All right, let's talk about something else. Uh, so I talked about what I went with Jacob, what I went through with Jacob, right? I told her the story about me and Jacob and how Jacob made me delete my comments, and just because I told her like his friend was a little bit, I just said in a very light way. It looks like she likes to eat. Nothing
Yeah,
really
and
wrong with that.
that sounds demeaning and insulting, but go ahead.
I mean, if you look too deep into it, of course, it sounds
Well, you
demeaning and
you
insulting.
can't you can't look at it from your perspective. You have to try to look at it from other people's perspective.
So then we
You have to
talked
you
with,
have to be socially
yeah.
aware. Okay,
So then we're,
other people have needs and emotions just like you.
uh-huh.
You can't expect them to know your whole life story. And even if they did know your life story, you can't expect them. It doesn't give you license to be mean. I mean, yeah, that's your right. You can say whatever you want, but don't be surprised if you get negative reaction to it.
Okay.
That's
So
your
like,
right to
okay.
say, she likes to eat. But then
Mhm.
you're going to get a negative reaction to that. You may get a negative reaction, and it sounds like you did. And it sounds like you weren't happy with that negative reaction. Well, you're just alienating yourself more. I've tried to warn you about
I
this in
know,
the
I know,
past.
I know. I mean, like, so I was
You
talking to
need
my friend.
you don't have a leg to stand on. You need to make more friends and try to network more, and you're not doing that. You're just alienating yourself more.
Yeah. So like, you know what? I was talking to her about this, right? And then, so like I told her, like, oh, you can see the last video she made. I can give it to you. I'm just telling her, I'm just joking around. I'm fooling around.
Yeah,
And
but
she's like,
that's
well,
being
Daniel, like,
it's being mean. It's
yeah.
being
So she's like, Daniel, girls are very sensitive to that. And I'm like, yeah, but when I was growing up, I heard people say these things.
well,
It's
this doesn't
ingrained
pertain to
into my,
you. It doesn't pertain to you. You got to think outside of your own self. You need to be socially aware of other people's feelings.
yeah.
It's
And
not
then
just about
eventually,
it's not about what you think. It's
yeah,
about what they think.
I know. So, eventually, and then eventually she's like swearing at me. I don't fucking care, Daniel. And then she sent me a message, oh, you have some respect to stay away from me. You know what? Fuck you, bitch. I have,
Hey,
uh,
okay, dude, she has a right to feel uncomfortable.
yeah, I know,
And
but
you
listen,
you insulted her, you demeaned her, and you have a right to say whatever you want, and she has a right to say whatever she wants. You
I
know,
know, but
you're
it
you're
just
you're
feels like,
basically taking your anger
yeah,
at your own life situation and you're projecting it on other people, and it's just alienating yourself more. I'm trying to help you out, dude.
I know, I
I
get it.
have better social experience than you.
No, I understand, and oh, it's just but you know what? If you were here and if you
I
went
mean, if
through what I,
somebody had done you wrong, like say, if you talked to a girl and she had said something mean to you, then yeah, that would be totally understandable. Um,
well, you know
that,
what? I was
that would
always
be
taught.
totally understandable to say something mean in return, but you're the one that started it, and you have a right to say what you want to say, but then it comes with negative consequences.
I just,
You could
I
say
just like,
whatever you want, but then be prepared to take the consequences that comes with saying whatever you want. You have to be nice to people if you want people to be nice to you.
uh,
Okay?
yeah, you know what? Let me just say that when I started this whole thing, I don't know. You know what? This is just all very confusing. I don't.
It's not confusing. It's just you have to,
Oh boy, this is why I hate humanity. This is why I fucking hate humanity, and this is why I'm happy.
because you're alienated and you continue to alienate yourself more. That's why you hate humanity.
I
You have
can't look. I can't get a girlfriend because I don't have a job. Girls don't want guys
Well,
who can't work.
you're a podcaster. You're on my podcast.
I
That's
can't get the kind of girl that
you
I
just don't get
want.
paid for it. You get disability. You get Social Security disability. You got to just say, "Hey, I'm a podcaster. I do I'm a co-host on a podcast where we talk about
Even
comic
even my
book
mom,
stuff."
even my mom teases me. Oh, a girl's not gonna want you without a job. You can't work. You're gonna die alone, Daniel. You're gonna die alone. Accept it
Well, I mean,
because I can't work.
that's not right that your mom teases you, but at the same time, you got to just try to survive and make the best of a bad situation. And that's not a license to be mean to other people. You can be mean to other people, you can do whatever you want, but then you shouldn't be surprised when you get a negative consequence as a result of that.
So I'm just real
You
upset.
gotta try to be nice to people if you want people to be nice to you. And if they're not nice to you despite you being nice to them, then yeah, you have a right to be angry about that, or you have a right, if somebody
Yeah.
says a snide comment towards you, then you have a right to respond in return. But you're not doing that. You're the one that's reaching out and lashing out at people that have no responsibility in your life and no fault of what your life is like. Um, like I looked up on Craigslist, you can rent a room for about 500 a month. If you were willing to put your mind to it, you could probably move out and rent your own room. But yeah, keep
I'm
working with your case manager and your social worker.
yeah, I'm still waiting for some low income housing, and that was one of the things me and my mom were talking about yesterday. Like, oh, I need low income housing, and I need something that's one third of my income, and you know, and I was like, I'm still thinking about that time when my psychologist, when I went to that apartment that I wanted, that unit that I wanted so badly,
Yeah.
and she gave it to, well, they chose the other person over me, and I'm like,
Well,
well, why?
they probably didn't have support structure like you do.
And they said,
You
well,
have
this person was in need. Excuse me, I'm in need. I'm in need.
well, you're not the only one that has needs. The other person may have been homeless. You're not homeless. You have a family support structure.
Mm-hmm.
Not
So,
ever,
anyways,
not everybody has a family support structure. You don't know the whole context of the whole situation.
yeah,
I remember there was an apartment that you turned down because you said it looked too much like a rundown dump.
that was the first one.
You should have taken it
I know, I know. I feel bad now, but
because
it,
living in an apartment that's a rundown dump is better than being on the street.
yeah, but it was like $1,000 a month. That would have eaten
What
up
was
all
that?
my money.
Was that 1/3 of your income?
No,
Well, then you wouldn't have been able to afford that.
it was $1,000 a month. Plus, I had to pay for my electricity. Oh, wait a second. I think they said the only thing I have to pay for was my internet, actually. Yeah. So it was $1,000, and the only thing I had to pay for was my internet. So after I pay $1,000 a month, I gotta pay the internet. That would leave me with nothing.
Yeah, well, that's why you need 1/3 of your income. That's what I
I
told you. You had
know.
to ask your case manager. I don't know this how social services work in Canada. I know how they work in the United States, but that's and it varies from state to state. But yeah, that's something that you may have to work out on your own. If I were you, I would look into renting a room and just get your own room and rent a room
Yeah,
for
you know,
about
and
five
and and
hundred
the
a month.
worst thing is, my psychologist left. She left because she said
Okay.
it was only a temporary thing, and she stretched it out already. She stretched it out because she realized I was in a horrible crisis, with my parents and everything. So she stretched it out as much as she could. But, now she said she couldn't do it anymore. So I don't know what's going on after this. So
Well, do you have a case manager that you can talk to that's not your therapist?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, did you ask your therapist, like, are they going to give you a replacement?
Well, I think she said something about that, but I don't know. See, now I'm scared because I'm thinking, oh shit, what's going to happen to me
Don't
now?
be scared. Be proactive, not reactive. You need to reach out to your case manager or whoever, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, so let's talk about what's happening in DC right now. Yeah,
Okay, because
I was talking.
we've already eaten up like 22 minutes. We only
Yeah.
have about 8 minutes left.
So we talked about how Henry Cavill was fired from, James Gunn fired Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that's Henry Cavill's fault. He's kind of egotistical. He's got a lot of hubris. He thinks he's a bigger star than he is. In my opinion, Henry Cavill's kind of a C-list celebrity because Man of Steel, they didn't even do a sequel to Man of Steel because the movie didn't do that well at the box office. And Zack Snyder's take on Justice League, it just didn't work. It didn't feel like Superman. He liked to think of himself as a Hollywood movie superstar. Henry Cavill did. He turned down season 3 of The Witcher. I mean, he got offered like $10 million to do season 3. He got paid 8 million for season 2 of The Witcher, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to be on a streaming series because I'm a movie star." And then he refused to do a cameo in Shazam, so they ended up having to get a stunt double in a Superman suit and cut off the head. That was a big mistake. I mean, he refused to support the franchise. And then when he realized everything was collapsing, he was like, "Yes, I'm back as Superman." And he had a cameo in Black Adam, but Black Adam bombed at the box office. And so now James Gunn is taking over what was formerly Time Warner, now Discovery, and um, pretty much fired him. Politely fired him, but still fired him. So he really has no movie career and he has no TV career, no streaming career. His career is pretty much ruined, although he did make tens of millions of dollars being an actor. So maybe he can just retire on his earnings. But yeah, his career is because he's quit The Witcher. That was the only other good thing he had going for him was The Witcher. I never watched The Witcher. Maybe I should watch it on Bflix or something. But Yeah, hubris. He decided to sabotage his career. He made Netflix angry. Netflix is supposedly, I think, going to bring back The Witcher for season 3, but they're going to recast his character with Chris Hemsworth. Um, and the fact that he refused to support the first Shazam movie and was demanding a big payout just to do a cameo. Yeah. And then when it was too little too late, he ended up doing a cameo in Black Adam. I haven't even seen Black Adam. It didn't look like it was going to be that good of a movie to me. Have you seen Black Adam?
I've seen it. It was okay. I don't know. There was a lot of people saying that, oh, it did well, and some people say, oh, no, it didn't do well. So it's kind
No,
of
it did.
hard
It
to.
didn't. It didn't do well because let me.
It's just like you told me, like about the Snyder cut. Like, remember we said about this? We were talking about the Snyder
It
cut.
didn't
I
do
thought it.
well. That was just a streaming only thing. That it didn't. Justice League didn't make a lot of money. If anything, it lost a little bit of money or barely broke even. But let's see.
Now look at this. Breaking Henry Cavill fired from Superman. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's been making the news. You see that?
Yeah,
Domestically, it's only made after all this time. The movie got released like 2 months ago.
yeah.
Got released. Iceland was the first place it got released of all places. But domestically, even though it got released 2 months ago, it's only made 167 million.
Okay.
Internationally, it made 222 million. Worldwide, 389 million. That's not a lot of money for a big budget movie. From what I understand, they spent 200 million making the movie and 200 million promoting the movie. Because, distributing posters and flyers and paying for TV spots, TV commercials is expensive. That costs many millions of dollars. So it is not uncommon for a superhero movie like this or an anti-hero movie that for them to spend 200 million promoting it. So they spent 200 million making the movie. I don't know what the see Black Adam production. See, Google already predicts my mind. Yeah, they don't know the exact numbers because it hasn't been officially released, but it's anywhere from 190 million to 230 million. The CGI in that looked really, really lackluster. Uh, I'm like, come on, you spent upwards of nearly 230 million in the movie. The movie maybe made its production costs back, but if you include promotional costs, it's actually lost money. And you got, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, out there saying, well, it did just as good as Captain America, but they didn't spend as much on Captain America as they did this movie. And the DC franchise as a whole, for the most part, hasn't been doing well. Like the last Suicide Squad movie bombed, the first Shazam movie bombed. I don't even understand you know, why would you do a movie that is closely tied to Shazam like Black Adam when Shazam itself kind of bombed at the box office? And then now you're doing a second Shazam movie. You're just asking for punishment. It's no wonder that it lost money because that's why I never went to see this in a movie theater because I'm like, this is closely tied to Shazam. I thought the first Shazam movie kind of sucked. I've never been a big fan of the character anyway. Um, and this takes place in the same, universe as Shazam, and it wasn't a strong start. This is based on the Shazam movie, takes place in that same universe, and the DC movies have had a rocky start, and it's been all over the place. You got movies like like the Batman did mediocre at the box office. I think it did make a little bit of money, but it's like under 700 million. And that's another 200 million plus 200 million budget. and it's just the DC universe is a mess. And then you have Joker, which is probably one of the most successful DC movies, if not the most successful, that came out in 2019. That grossed over $1 billion, and that was pre-pandemic. And that really hurt the the DC universe, because it kind of pulled away from it, because it's like its own thing, its own separate universe. And then you have Batman that's its own separate universe. So it's really confusing. And then James Gunn also canceled Wonder Woman 3. Wonder Woman 1984 partially suffered from the fact that the pandemic, they had no theaters for it to open in. So then it went to streaming, and hardly anybody watched it on the streaming because it got so badly critically reviewed. It was a critical bomb. I know that Zack Snyder's uh, version of Justice League was critically well received, but man, I never bothered to watch it because it's like what, like a 3 or 4 hour movie, isn't it? 4 hours?
4 hour long movie
Yeah,
to at
who
the
the
time.
hell wants to sit through a 4 hour movie when the original version of the movie wasn't that good to begin with? I don't
Yeah.
like Zack Snyder's take on the DC universe. The only thing Zack Snyder did good in the DC universe was Watchmen. Everything else I thought was crap. It was just, it didn't feel like the original characters. Um, Wonder Woman 1984 was like very slow and boring. I couldn't even finish watching it. So yeah, the DC universe needs to be fully rebooted. You need to have new actors. I totally agree with James Gunn on that, because it's Black Adam's not working, Shazam is not working, Justice League is not working. The last Suicide Squad movie bombed.
I don't know.
Although,
Everything is. I don't like it. A lot of people online don't like it either. Like James Gunn reboots everything. Like, oh darn it! Like, come on. So that means
how
no
does
more.
he reboot everything? He didn't reboot Guardians.
No, no, no. I mean, he reboots everything in DC.
There's nothing wrong with that, and it's time. It's
I know,
time.
but like everybody wanted to see how the story kept on going. Like okay. Also, so the Flash. So at the end of the Flash.
Well, I'm sure if people were interested in it and more people were to see the movie, but considering that Wonder Woman 1984 critically bombed and lost money, you have the
So what does
Suicide
that?
Squad. The second Suicide Squad movie was critically, well, some people liked it. There was critically mixed consensus on it, and it bombed at the box office. The first Shazam movie bombed. Justice League barely broke even. Um, Batman made a little bit of money, but it was disappointing at the box office, the Batman. So,
So what does that mean? So they're going to
it needs to be
abandon like.
rebooted. It's not
No, I know
working.
that.
The
I know that.
current
But like,
formula is not working.
but
It ain't working.
at the
But
end of the
we're
Flash.
running out of time. I've already, like a few minutes ago, I already got the
But we got
10 minute
6 minutes
timer.
left.
No, we've already, well, yeah. Oh, okay. So there's time remaining. We got 6 minutes left.
So
Yeah,
like, you
good
know
point.
what? It's like, okay, look, it's like, okay, the Flash was supposed to bring Michael Keaton back to this new universe wherever he ends up in. So that means that's down the toilet too. But it's weird because Aquaman 2 is still coming out. And Michael Keaton is supposed to be in Aquaman 2. So like, what's going on? Are they rebooting it or are they not? I don't know. It's
I
confusing.
think they're rebooting it, but they're going to release some of the big budget movies that have already been done. Like Aquaman 2 is already pretty much done. It's just now post production edit. I don't know. It's all over the place. It's kind of
It's all
confusing.
over the place.
That's
No,
that's the
it's not
problem with
here.
the DC universe. It's all over the place. It's kind of confusing. Like Joker takes place in its own universe, and the Batman takes place in another separate universe that's different than the Joker and different than the regular
Yeah,
DC.
they wanted to grow out their expanded multiverse, which could have worked.
Well, but the movies have been bombing. They've been losing money, and Discovery wants to take a new direction. This is
Mm.
because of the corporate takeover of Warner Brothers by Discovery. So, but yeah, we should probably
But
wrap up.
this seems
We should probably wrap up. We could talk
okay.
forever, but I'm sure you
Yeah,
want to do a Ukraine war update. We can also
yeah.
talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. I haven't talked about him before. The crypto bro that
Yeah.
lives in the Bahamas. He just got arrested.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Cryptocurrency. This is why I never invested in crypto, because it just always comes off as a Ponzi scheme to me. Because you have rich people who create the cryptocurrency and they pump and then they dump. They get other people to buy into it and then they cash out. And then most of your poor people are left holding the bag. And that's why cryptocurrency as a whole this year has completely crashed. Like Bitcoin is only worth like less than half of what it was worth a year ago. And the same thing for Ethereum. And so, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried, he had a lot of political connections, and it appears that a lot of the money that he was getting for FTX was going to political donations, and so that will have to be investigated. But the thing about Sam Bankman-Fried, if you're a a con man and you only screw over poor people, then Wall Street is like, you're a good businessman. You did a good job. You got one up on people. But if you screw over not only poor people, but you also screw over other rich people, then yeah, they will arrest you. That's what happened to Bernie Madoff. He screwed over a lot of wealthy people and a lot of celebrities. And the same thing for Sam Bankman-Fried. So I think that it's good that he got arrested. He's going to be extradited from the Bahamas. The police in the Bahamas arrested him, and they're going to be extraditing him to New York to face crimes for him basically lying to people and conning people out of billions of dollars and then squandering it by gambling. But who knows where the majority of those assets are? But yeah, I think it's a good thing. Do you think it's a good thing that the crypto bro Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested? Daniel. Oh,
Yeah. What happened?
what? Yeah, you were muted. Do you think it's a good thing about Sam Bankman-Fried being arrested and going to be extradited to the United States?
I don't know. I never heard about that. That is interesting. Yeah, I guess he can
Okay,
be
well,
like.
let's do one last minute Ukraine war update. I know you like that.
Hmm.
You like talking about. Let's see. All right. We're going to do a brief update. It's only going to be about 30 seconds because we're running out of time. Um, this is day 295, December the 15th, 2022, 10 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. Um, I mean, Ukrainian forces have, within the last month, have retaken Kherson, and the line seems to have stabilized in the north. There's significant fighting in these regions that you see circles. Um, Russia has reconsolidated their front line just southeast of Kherson, to the river here. And within the last couple of weeks, not much has changed on the front line. But anyway, we are out of time. We got 1 minute left. Any last words or thoughts about the Ukrainian war before we go?
Yeah, I heard that Russia is really going to step it up in 2023. As that's
Well,
what
they'll
I read.
probably counterattack in 2023. They have historical precedent. They tend to, in the wintertime, hold a defensive line. They gives them time to regroup, and then they regather resources and counterattack in the spring. We are out of time. Thank you very much for joining us.